Hello, my friends. Good morning, everyone. How's everybody doing? Hello, 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 my friends. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are in the world. Welcome to the Robot Crypto Coins Crew channel. As always, before we start, guys, I'm going to leave the links to my course, to my Billionaire spreadsheet and newsletter down below in the description and in the comments. Basically, the course teaches you how I was the strategies that I used to predict the top of Bitcoin, Ethereum, and many other altcoins. The Millionaire spreadsheet basically mentions which coins you should buy. I believe there are like 12 coins, at which price you should buy, how you should dollar cost average, what you should diversify into, when you should sell. And the newsletter basically provides all the things that I think are relevant in the market that you should know about, or some thoughts that I want to share. Anyway, now that we've got that out of the way, let's talk about what's happening right now. Hello, Zio Zerp. Thanks for going live, sir. Thank you for joining, my friend. Hansi Sammy. Scam pump today. We're going further down. Audio is great. Couldn't hear the last one at all. Yeah, I'm sorry about the last one, my friends, because I was at Starbucks, and I've read several comments, and I actually had people even reach out to me in the DM saying, "Could you please do lives, at your hotel room or at home, one of the two things." So here I am, pre-Starbucks. Once I'm done, I'm going to go to Starbucks, though. I promise you. Rainy Steps, how are your little dogs? Well, now I have one little dog, and he's very well. Thank you, Rainy. Well, you must be an OG. You must have been with me for a long time if you're aware of that. That's very nice to have these OGs with me. Manjiro, hey brother, glad I could catch you. I'm gonna break at work. I'm really glad that you can join too. Enjoy a break. Hope you're eating something delicious. Starbucks, perhaps. Anyway, my friends. Good morning, Project CEO. Good morning. Anyway, let's talk about what's going on in the market. Again, the truth is, the way the market moves, most of the time, nothing happens unless you're a day trader. Even swing traders, very often nothing happens unless you're a day trader. Nothing really happens in the market. So, because day traders play these little fluctuations, a few percent up, a few percent down, even if it's like 0.5% profit, they're going to 100x that, and make much more. It's quite a risky way to go about it. Swing traders, they have a little more activity in the market going on because, for example, if you look at Litecoin, like months ago, it was at $49. Now it's skyrocketed over 50%. That's a good swing trade, right? People are closing profits, but the way they had to wait a long time, right? And then there is us, basically, right? Although I do swing trade, and very rarely I do day trade if I get great entries. But besides that, my main strategy, what I teach and what I do is very long, right? So the whole cycle, first the crashing part, then roughly boom, boom, 2 years, roughly give or take, of just sideways unsustainable pumps and chop or slow climbs, because we don't know exactly which is going to be, because different cycles of that different stuff. And then the last phase where everything reaches all-time high. Not everything, a lot of coins reach all-time high, and a lot of coins skyrocket, 1,000, 2,000, 5,000, 10,000, 20,000%. That's what I play, right? And when I go live, and talk to you about these guys, I know very soon we're gonna I've always been very repetitive, and I've always been very annoying. I've actually had a lot of people confront me, on Twitter or even in the DMs, in the past year, saying, "I'm going to unfollow you, Rob, because you keep saying the same stuff." Well, what else would should I be saying if this is the stuff that works, right? For example, there's a certain way to, I don't know, ride a pony. There's a certain way to write in English, right? There's a certain way, I don't know, to play football, right? There are rules. And so basically, in order to be good at something like playing football or soccer, whatever, you basically, it's the same thing you have to keep doing over and over and over again on a daily basis. And within years, you get huge results, right? You can't just come up with new stuff to provide content, right? And then basically screw people over because you need to talk about something, create some kind of narrative. That's not the way investing works. Investing should be boring. And that's exactly my strategy. It's quite boring because, excuse me, if you're doing exciting stuff like, trading on a daily basis with a 50 or 20, 100x leverage, yeah, sure, it's exciting, but it's also very destructive. It's unsustainable. When you're investing, it should be quite boring, and sometimes it gets exciting. Like, for example, now I get much more excited when the market crashes, and when it pumps, I don't get that excited. I get excited, but not that excited, I would say. Kind of a part of me is like, I wish I had gotten more entries, greed speaking, I guess. Greed is not a good thing. but I do know how to manage it once it's time to sell. But either way, so right now what's going on, same thing, right? Since Bitcoin is broken down from its June low of roughly $17,000, it has gone down to $15,000. It's recently made a new low, but it's still basically just chopping this channel, right? At any point, it could pump to something like, I don't know, 18, 20K, or it could crash further. The thing is, we're not going to pretend and say we know what's going to happen. What we're going to do is we're just going to stick to our strategy, right? And whatever the market does, we're going to profit. So, for example, if the market decides to pump like crazy, we're going to start locking in profits and setting stop losses. If it pumps a little bit, we're not going to do anything because that's not what we're here for. If it starts dumping and our price targets are met, we're going to buy in accordance with the Millionaire spreadsheet. If it dumps harder and more, we're going to buy in accordance with the Millionaire spreadsheet. There's a reason why I wrote out this plan in advance, to make sure that when these things start happening, right, that I'm not emotional. And that's another thing that we're going to do on our Patreon members, by the way, just so you know, when the time comes, although you already have a plan, everything is written out, all the targets or whatnot, I'm going to provide updates up front once I understand that we're transitioning to the bullish phase of the cycle, of the things that we should be doing and that we should not deviate from, just because at a certain point the hype and excitement is going to come back and we're going to want to act differently. It's the same thing as when we crash hard. At the top of the market, you have all these plans and all these, executions, and you still don't do them perfectly, right? You do them, you never need to do them perfectly. A rough estimate is good enough. You don't need to be perfect, right? But anyway, so at a certain point, let's say your price target is met, and you're like, oh no, now I'm going to wait till it goes lower, and then it doesn't go lower. You don't do that. You stick to the plan. If the price target is met, you buy. Then you wait for it to crash lower. If it's met, you buy. Same thing in the bull market, When it pumps hard, and if your sell target is met and you're like, oh, now I'm going to let it pump a little bit higher, right? It's a greed again speaking. You can't do that. You stick to the plan. You sell. You set the stop loss where it's supposed to be. You sell where it's supposed to be. And if it keeps pumping, that doesn't matter. You made money. You got out. You didn't get dumped on. Unfortunately, it's just a statistical fact. If you look at it, all the newcomers are basically pretty much all the people that came into crypto in the last cycle from 2018 to 2022, they lost money. And this is the third cycle where we'll be making money. For 2 cycles now, we've been very, very profitable and been getting huge ROI, right? Because one of the very important things that I do is write everything out in advance, and I kind of keep this emotional log, which is why on Patreon nonstop I keep writing to you about these narratives. I provide these updates explaining market psychology, to make sure that you guys don't basically cave in, if you will, so that you don't start changing your mind. One of the main aspects of this market is market psychology, which pretty much have to do, to make money in crypto, is just await huge, massive crashes, start buying and dollar cost averaging and diversifying upon new lows, ignore further pumps, hold for all the BS, chop and whatnot, hold. And then when the pumps come, start selling and setting stop losses and not getting back in, not rotating those profits, awaiting huge crashes again. It's very simple, very straightforward, but unfortunately, the majority of people out there cannot do it. And the reason they can't do it is market psychology and emotions, which is why this is such an important factor that I discuss pretty much like on a daily basis in on Patreon, provide these updates, because it's probably the most important factor, because 80% of what you do in this market is wait, right? And then 10% you're buying, 10% you're selling. The 80% is where a lot of people mess up, because a lot of people just can't sit there and do nothing, right? They get emotional. They don't have a plan, or they can't stick to the plan because, once again, their emotions are not letting them stick to the plan, right? But if you manage to master that, if you manage to master your emotions and you manage to execute the plan like a robot, and you just literally are like a computer who has no emotions, you just see digits, execute, right? If it's time to wait, you wait. If it's time to sell, you sell. If it's time to buy, you buy. If you just manage to do this to a computer, you'll be very profitable. Let's see what you're saying, my friends. Bid Digital 5 and 9, looking sharp, brother. Thank you very much, my friend. I appreciate that. Manjir, yes, I hope for more entries. Me too, brother. Me too. I really hope that we're going to get a good capitulation event. I know that's unfortunately going to hurt a lot of people. It always does this stuff, but this is the only way we can get great entries. Some kind of narrative always has to take place, a kind of fear narrative to crash the market for us to get better entries, so we can buy where nobody wants to buy. It needs to happen. Something massive needs to happen. Somebody needs to go insolvent. I don't know. It needs to be some kind of hack, some kind of FUD. I don't know, some kind of ban. Whatever, right? Something bad needs to happen for the prices to crash. And personally, I'll be very happy to see altcoins crash roughly another 40 to 50%. Those would give us some of our entries that we're looking forward to. I would not be surprised to see even bigger crashes. That being said, once again, right? That being said, stick to the plan, right? Do not start doing anything that deviates from the plan. Like, people often write to me saying, Rob, what should I do now or where? And when, like you say, buy low, sell high. I literally tweeted down on Twitter. Buying low is buying now, lower and much lower. This is called the macro accumulation phase, guys. There's no guarantee of everything, of course, but statistically, historically, mathematically, percentage-wise, this is a time where if you had bought in every single last cycle, and even before crypto appeared, if you had bought during moments like this in the stock market, when the Dow was down 50% during the great financial crisis, right? Or if you had bought during the COVID crash and the NASDAQ was crashing and everything. If you had bought these percentages, you'd have been profitable every single time. And every single time that we crashed in these markets, every single time we had people saying that stocks are going to zero, crypto is going to zero. This is the end of the financial world. COVID is going to ruin everything. We don't even know what's going to happen. Crude oil is below zero. Everything is going crazy. We're done for. We need to reboot the economy, blah, 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 blah. Best time to buy. Nobody wants to buy. You wait basically a year or two, you turn $100,000 into millions of dollars, right? And it's all over the same again. Every single time, people, for some reason, they want to say this time is different. They want to say it's different when we're at the top, that this time we're not going to crash due to utility and institutional adoption. I kept saying the top institutions are not your friends. Think about what they're there for. They're there for profits, right? They're not going to hold. They're there for profits. If they bought low, they're going to sell high, obviously, and they're going to crash the market because they have much bigger bags. And who do you think they're going to sell to? The retail guy, right? But nobody wanted to hear that. They wanted to hear that institutions are the good guys and utility is going to save the day. Utility is not going to save the day in this market cycle either. Remember that when we're in the bull market, please, print it out and put it like in front of your desk or, write it down as your screensaver on your phone or something. Institutions are not your friends. The institutional machine is not your friend, right? They're when we're at the top, they provide hype and excitement. They make these magazine covers that some crypto guy is the next Warren Buffett, and on the news they keep talking about new highs of Bitcoin and altcoins, and this coin pumped 50,000%, which basically makes people feel like they're missing out. And then they go and they start buying. But you have to ask yourself, why are they making this content, right? The reason they're making this content is because the guys who are dumping on retail are the guys who control the media. These are the guys who control news channels, magazines, newspapers, websites. So they create the narrative that they want you to see, right? Right now, the narrative they're creating, if you look at The Economist, the Bloomberg News Weekly or something magazine, I don't care whatever it's called, all that basic BS stuff that you should be reading anyway. If you look at websites, if you look at the YouTube videos are being made, if you look at the news channels, we're talking about recession, crypto is dead, crypto being compared to a post-apocalyptic wasteland like a desert, fall of an empire is being compared to like asteroid strikes, basically like the end of the dinosaurs would kill the dinosaurs, right? Is being compared to basically the end of the world pretty much, right? And this is the macro accumulation phase, mind you, when everything has crashed roughly 80% and can crash as low as 99%. So once we've entered that field, from 80 to 99%, in this little area, you should be dollar cost averaging upon new lows, not being scared or waiting for to catch the bottom. You should be, because let's be honest, you're not going to catch the bottom unless you're the luckiest person in the world, right? I've never caught the exact bottom. I've been here for years. I've been here for 8 years already in crypto. 2 market cycles, basically. This is the 3rd, right? This is, guys, you're not going to catch the bottom unless you're super lucky. It's like basically winning the lottery, right? Which is exactly why you wait for the macro accumulation phase when the coins are down 80% to 99% roughly. Upon your lows, your dollar cost average, you diversify into different coins with different narratives. After you've done that, you hold through all the BS. Like, for example, another thing about holding I want to talk about. Dollar cost averaging and holding. A lot of people talk about dollar cost averaging and holding. But once again, unfortunately, they don't teach people how to dollar cost average and hold. They just say dollar cost average, hold. So people, what do? They come to the market. Let's say in the last cycle, they bought Bitcoin at 60K, 50K, 45K, 40K, 30K, 20K, and now all of them are in losses. Terrible way to dollar cost average. And now basically, they got no more money to invest. So now the people tell them hold, right? They're down huge. And now in the market, if it crashes further, they're not going to be able to add. They're going to miss all these great entries. They're not going to be able to bring down the average. So there's a right way to dollar cost average. There's a right way to diversify, and there's a right way to hold. You have to know when to hold them. You have to know when to fold them, meaning you hold and then you sell when it's time. Once again, guys, if you don't know how to do that, go down. There's a link in the description down below. Is going to be also the link to my private group in the comments. Guys, everything explained there. I'm literally walking 6,000 students right now, step by step life of what I'm doing, what I've been doing for 2 market cycles, and what I'll be doing, and what I am doing in this market cycle, in the bearish phase right now, and what I'll be doing in the bullish phase, right? The moment I sell or buy something, right away, it's mentioned there. You have all the targets up front. Anyway, guys, so I guess, don't get brainwashed. Don't let basically these magazine covers, news channels, all these supposedly smart millionaires, like Kevin O'Reilly or O'Reilly, whatever his name is, who used to come on TV and talk about basically, supporting Simon, all that stuff, like from Shark Tank. We're supposed to think there's a genius millionaire, right? How many people got screwed on FTX, right? Not that I have anything against Kevin, I really don't wish him all the best. My point being, so we have all these smart celebrity millionaires and finance who come on TV and start talking about how great crypto is. Like, he was one of the guys, I also believe, if not him, there are definitely others who were talking about Bitcoin back in 2018 in the depths of the bear market, saying that basically, I don't own Bitcoin. It's a Ponzi scheme. That pretty much being the point of many guys out there. And when it was time to buy, they were saying this. Then all of a sudden, when Bitcoin is pumping, they come out of the blue and say, I actually own Bitcoin, right? But when it's time to start selling and taking profits. Why did you buy that Bitcoin? Because you were saying you didn't buy Bitcoin, right, back then. Pretty sure they were buying that Bitcoin when they were telling people they're not buying Bitcoin. So, do as I say, not as I do, basically that's the point. So I'm pretty sure they were saying just, don't buy Bitcoin, but they themselves were buying Bitcoin. So, all these supposedly smart guys who come on news channels and talk about this and that, they don't have your best interests at heart, guys. They're not there to talk about what's good for the retail investor, right? They're there to talk about what's good for them, right? And what's good for them in many instances is clicks and likes and views, and monetizing this and that, and getting followers and all that. It's not something that's going to help you. So ignore the BS that they spew. Very simple. When these guys are super excited and they're showing you how crypto is rocketing, you start setting stop losses and you start selling and taking profits. And when they're telling you that everything is going to hell and this is the over and crypto is going to zero, this is when you start dollar cost averaging. Do the opposite of what these people tell you, because once again, they're not your friends. Let's see what you're saying, my friends. Mark Gutierrez, bought your spreadsheet. Thanks for providing those instructions. You're welcome, my friend, and welcome on board. It's good to have you. Manjir, have a good day, brother. Heading back to work, sending love. Thank you, Manjir. If you see this, I hope you have a wonderful day too, my friend. The Lock Live, good to see you too. What do you think will be the catalyst for the next bull run? That's a very good question. And like I said, I always keep mentioning that basically there's always some kind of narrative. They'll find a narrative. I don't know what it is, and I don't care what it is, because I'm not a narrative guy. And one of the things on my Patreon, once again, that I nonstop keep showing as examples is all these narratives that keep crumbling down. For example, the latest one was about DXY. So for a year or over a year, if you're following the DXY, the dollar index, right? US dollar index. So basically, whenever you've been following the DXY, people have been pushing this narrative that basically whenever DXY goes down, crypto goes up, and whenever it goes up, crypto goes down. But recently we had it crash like 8%, if I'm not mistaken, and Bitcoin crashed 22% from the same date, 27th September, I believe. Another narrative crumble, So there doesn't need to be a catalyst, right? I know people believe there needs to be a catalyst, but that's just not the case, right? What there needs to be is basically people buying and destroying sell walls. That's it. And the coin keeps pumping, How many coins have pumped without any catalyst or narratives really, right? So look at what Doge did, simply because Elon Musk was basically the CEO of Dogecoin, right? Look at the 54,000% that thing pumped, right? And the catalyst is going to be very simple. It's going to be human emotions. As always, people who are afraid to buy, little by little, people will be buying crypto. And then when they see that crypto is going up, greed kicks in. Human emotions kick in. They feel like they're missing out, just like with every single cycle in history, during the tulip mania, during the great stock market crash, during the Great Depression, all these recoveries, basically. Once stuff goes up, they feel they're missing out. they start buying. So whatever the catalyst is going to be, whatever the narrative is going to be, the reason behind it is going to be that people feel like they're missing out and they're going to start buying. And the sad thing is they're probably going to start buying when they should start selling. Yeah, I'm glad you can hear me, my friend. Greg, do you foresee a mini price bump for XRP post lawsuit, assuming it's a favorable outcome? That's a very difficult thing to predict, Greg. I'm not, like I said, I say this all the time, I'm not a Riddler. That's a very difficult thing to predict. All I can say is, of course, that's possible. For example, I remember I was here, I don't remember the year, I think it might have been 2018, when XRapid went live, and, we're in the midst of a bear market, and XRP pumped 210%. So basically, but what did it do after it had the 210%? It was unsustainable. It crashed and it made the new lows. So the way I look at the market, I don't think these events are important. So even if it would pump 300%, I would not see that as something significant and important, because that's not the kind of gains I'm here for, right? Especially from altcoins. I understand if Bitcoin pumps 300%, that's a different story. But altcoins, that's not a big deal, right? So what I would do is, just like I say, I would just ignore it. I would just ignore it, and I would just wait for the market to bottom out. I would wait for everything to pump hard, and then I will start taking profits with coins that deliver. And I keep reiterating this, guys. Make sure you diversify, because I guarantee you, I've been here for a while. This is my 33rd cycle. I guarantee you, some coins are going to go to zero. Some coins are going to pump well, and some coins are going to pump like crazy. You don't know which coins are going to do what. You don't know that, no matter what you tell yourself, no matter what I tell myself, which is exactly why we diversify, friends. We're diversifying into different coins and different narratives, because maybe this bull market will be driven by utility, just like the 2017 one, where we had basically, coins pumping because somebody signed a contract, or because the coin is fast and cheap and to transact, or whatever, right? Some company is backing them, boom, the coin starts pumping. The recent cycle we just had was meme driven, right? So we had meme coins like Dogecoin, Shiba Inu, Floki pumping, other pet tokens pumping, and NFTs. Practically no use case whatsoever, right? And we don't know what the next one is going to be. Maybe in the next one, the biggest winners are going to be exchange coins. Maybe exchange coins are going to zero. Maybe the biggest gainer next time is going to be Bitcoin. Maybe Bitcoin is going to be flipped by 50 altcoins. Maybe next winner are going to be meme coins again. Or maybe meme coins are going to hell. Or maybe it's going to be utility-driven coins. Or maybe utility coins are not going to do anything again. Or maybe XRP is going to win the lawsuit and get relisted by all exchanges. And this time, to actually, instead of pumping 2,000%, it will pump 10,000 or 20,000%. We have no idea, which is exactly why we accept that we have no idea. We swallow our pride. We understand that we're not basically, fortune tellers, and we're diversifying. And that way we maximize our chances of catching huge pumps, right? I've been saying this a lot, and I keep saying this, and I'll keep saying this. I'll keep reiterating, and no matter how long it takes for this message to sink in, diversification has saved my butt many, many times, right? So, for example, XRP was my favorite coin. What it taught me is to make sure I never have a favorite coin. And when I was buying BNB below $5 and then selling it for 100x, even a little more than 100x, over $500, it was exactly my target. There are tweets that you can see on Twitter where I was predicting this. But I had no idea whatsoever when this was happening in the bear market that BNB is going to, do this before XRP does this. So I expected XRP to do some crazy, pumps and all that, and then BNB basically to follow, right? But I had no idea that BNB is going to pump much harder, make me much more money than XRP did. So be ready for everything. That's my point, my friends, right? Be ready for everything. No matter how much you like a coin, no matter how amazing the team behind it is, no matter how great the utility is, the use case, whatever you name it, no matter how brilliant the company is, right? How wonderful the project is, diversify. Excuse me. Diversify, 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 my friends. The knock life. Robert, you blocked me on Twitter, but rightfully so. Congrats, my friend. You were right. Much respect. I added out early this year a lot and started laddering in after June. That knock life. Well, my friend, if I blocked you, I'm sorry. It must have been for some kind of reason. Probably you were being rude and disrespectful. What is your Twitter handle? I'll check it out and I'll unblock you. But please kindly, let's just respect each other and be nice to one another. I just really don't like it when people are rude because, in life, I believe people are much nicer than they are online. So let's just please, be gentlemen and nice to each other and just basically let's all be friends. It's much better to win together, my friends. It's much better. Like I used to say always, the best type of winning is winning together, my friends. The more of us win, the better. Crypto Matt, thank you, Robert. You're a gentleman. Thank you, my friend. I really appreciate that. So yes, I think I got everything off my mind that I wanted to say. I know on YouTube I speak like generically, like I kind of don't really get into the details, but there are literally 6,000 people paying for the details, so I can't really give you the details of the people who are paying for it. So once again, guys, join the Patreon. The links are down below in the description and in the comments. All the updates, all the coins, all the entries, all the access, everything is there. There are risky plays, safe plays, everything basically. Yeah, that's pretty much it, my friends. So basically, make sure that you don't get brainwashed. Stick to the plan. Keep emotions out of it. Get excited if you get excited during huge crashes. Execute the buys in the corners with the plan. And then we're going to have to hold for a long time. That's probably the two things I hate the most about crypto is waiting for those huge crashes, but then when they finally come, you feel rewarded. And then the other thing I hate the most is holding throughout all the BS and chop and unsustainable pumps and maybe even new lows. And when you're temporarily in losses, and maybe those losses are even more than 50%, and you're just staring at this and thinking, God, when is this going to end? And then eventually it ends. It usually takes roughly 2 years. It ends, and then the huge pumps start coming and the new highs. And, then that's when you make life-changing profits. So anyway, guys, thank you so much. I really appreciate your time. I really appreciate the fact that you took your time to come here and talk to me. I really do appreciate it, my friends. Have a wonderful day. Try to enjoy life as much as possible. Do something that you like today. Even if your day is busy, try to do something that you like today because life is very short, my friends. Sending my love. Bye-bye.